All right, welcome to the program tour of the 12-month experience of the Soulmate Client Academy. So just as a reminder, I know for most of you, really what you're ultimately looking for is to make as much money as you want, as big of an impact as you want, spending as much time as you want working, with the flexibility to work from wherever wherever you want to work, kind of flowing between the seasons of passions, interests, zone of genius in your career, being able to indulge in your creative ideas, mastering your field and your industry. And the very first step for most of you is to drop any income source that isn't soulmate client work, okay? It's to drop any income source that isn't soulmate client work. And the way I want you to think about this process and this journey is that you've just given yourself a major promotion. And you've given yourself a major promotion into this role called business owner. And even if you're coming with transferable skills, even if you're coming with a lot of expertise and experience, when you are now solely responsible for results in your business, for creating outcomes, for creating income, for doing what it takes to create the final kind of financial success that you need to be able to work in this business full time, there is a new set of skills that you need to learn. And so the way I recommend thinking about this journey and this process is that you've just gotten a major promotion. And it's your job to fill in the gaps and to learn the skills that you need to be able to create the results that you want, which is why I recommend really committing for the journey and committing for ongoing, long-term, high-quality support to make sure that you get the skills that you need for every stage and every level of your business. Because to me, autonomy doesn't mean alone. Autonomy means that you are doing the critical thinking, the synthesis of everything that you've learned in the context of your goals and your desires and your vision to create results. And you're getting support in filling in the gaps and thinking, learning about things you wouldn't have known before, about, thinking about things you wouldn't have thought before. So you are autonomous, just like you'd be autonomous in a job, just like you'd be autonomous, in a role in a company, and you still have support around you to fill in historical experience and knowledge and things that you don't know that are going to make you even better in that role and more powerful in that role. So I want to go through before I share with you the curriculum, because I do want to go in depth with you in the curriculum and kind of how it works and really the step-by-step, the in-depth, modules in the program. I really want to help you understand the big picture framing of the process that I'm going to be taking you through. So a soulmate client business, right? The first major milestone, again, dropping any and all sources of income that are not soulmate client work. I also just want to know that for some of you, it's going to happen really quickly. And for some of you, it's going to take some time. And I don't know what it's going to be for you. I can't say. I've seen it all. And so I don't assume to know what's possible. But everybody that I've taken through this process, including myself, these are the steps. And to being able to reach that first milestone of dropping any and all sources of income that are not soulmate client work. So step number one is just the decision. And it doesn't have to be some dramatic, declaration. The reality is that you are going to have to commit and recommit over the course of your business, over the course of your life. But it's just a decision that you're going to make space for it in your life right now. You're going to put aside some time, some money, some energy, some resources for your dream today, not someday. Like today, you're going to commit some space, some amount of space and resources to your dream. Step number two is your first soulmate clients. Now, depending on where you're coming from and where you're starting, you may or may not have had any soulmate clients before. You may or may not have had soulmate clients at a price point that you want before. But the very first step, and you may already be past this, but it is about making sure that you are attracting and converting those first clients that are truly doing your soul's purpose work at the price point that you want, and creating a plan and a map to get those first soulmate clients, knowing what to do, knowing what to say, knowing where to go every day, every single hour that's going to move the needle. And you want to make sure for a soulmate business, it is about the right business model for you. So you need a plan that is not cookie cutter. It is unique to you and to your vision, to move the needle to your vision. Now, after we've worked on those, we have the plan, you're starting to work on those skills. now you've gotten some wins. You've gotten some first soulmate clients at the price point that you want. Now we're moving into consistent soulmate clients, because creating a plan on paper is one thing, but being able to get the tactical and emotional skills to be able to get consistent clients, repeatable, predictable results, building those skills of being a business owner, it takes time, and everybody goes at a different pace, right? Some people learn it faster, some people learn it slower. It is 100% just, dependent on kind of what you're bringing to the table. And then we're going to get into momentum to that goal that you have, where that income goal that you have, where you can drop any and other work that is not soulmate client work. And in momentum, you're getting, lots of wins. You're having your ahas. You're getting some big wins. You're having your first repeat client, your first $20,000 month, what your first $10,000 sale, whatever that is for you. We're getting momentum, and we're getting to use your energy really, really well. You're learning how to use your energy really well. To be able to have the momentum and sustain the momentum to your income goal. Because if you don't stay in momentum, if every single time you hit a roadblock or a setback, it takes you a really long time to get back into action and back into consistent momentum, it's just going to take you a really long time. So really in momentum, we're focused on teaching you how to manage your energy so that the results that you're creating, you can get there faster because you know how to use your energy to get there faster, and that you can sustain it once you're there. So then we hit that goal. You're at that first milestone of dropping any and all non-soulmate client works, and you want to celebrate. It's awesome. It's really wonderful. And then once you've reached that milestone, it's all about maintaining in a way that is sustainable and enjoyable for you and for your energy until you decide to reach another goal. So, if your first major milestone is making, $100,000 a year in income, awesome. And you want to make sure that you're able to keep doing that in a way where you're doing soulmate client work, and that the business model, the marketing and the sales model that you've chosen are energizing to you. They allow you to use your gifts and strengths, and they allow you to shine. And then maybe you decide you want to go to 200,000 or, whatever, 250, 300, whatever that is for you, and making sure that you're still in alignment with the kind of work you want to do and the kind of business model that works for you, and that you're not creating these new goals that make where you're putting your fulfillment and your joy and your ease and your day-to-day in jeopardy. Yeah, so that's kind of how it works together. So let's dive into the content. Let's dive into what exactly do you do. So, once you and I have discussed your goals, your focus, like what's important to you, you are going to dive into the very first step, which is really making sure, because if you do not intentionally design your business to be a place that you want to be, there are so many details people miss and they skip, and when they do, one of two things happens. One is that they start it slows down their pace to their results because they're unhappy, or two, maybe they build some sort of external success, but they've built a kind of business that really is not enjoyable to them. So we really dig into the details here to make sure that you are intentionally designing a business and a business model that allows you to shine. And I would recommend, actually coming back to this every quarter, twice a year, at least once a year, to regroup, to kind of zoom out again and be able to be able to recalibrate your vision, make sure that the day-to-day, what you're doing is moving you in the direction, looking at the things that you've learned along the way, and making sure that they're still in alignment with where you want to be, or using what you've learned to recalibrate and say, oh, I've learned this, and this is I'm going to tweak that vision a little bit. And what's really important about this is that is that you are doing it in a way where it is focused on making sure that you are very that whatever financial goal that you've set, it is not at the expense of your joy, your happiness, your fulfillment, and your creativity in your work. So that's really the very first step. Now, once you've because I think the one I remember the other thing I was going to say here was that the clearer you are and the more specific you are here, the faster you're actually going to be able to actualize that vision in ways that you didn't even think would be possible. So you'll see creatives once you get that level of detail and clarity. You'll start to see solutions that you couldn't see before that are very easy to implement right away. And then, like I said, just keep coming back to it so that as you get new information, as you learn more about yourself, about your work, about your soulmate clients, you come back and you keep tweaking it, because if you don't get intentional with that business model and with the vision that you have, it's very easy to get off course and to build something that makes you burn out and is really unsustainable for you. All right, so then once we've really gotten intentional and you're gonna be able to see some solutions very quickly, now we create your high ticket offer for your soulmate clients. I'm gonna teach you how to craft a sellable offer. And the beauty of understanding how to create a sellable offer, this is a skill set. And this is a skill set that most marketing people, most sales people, people with those backgrounds have never been taught. They've never been taught how to create a sellable offer. And this is the foundation, this is the backbone of everything you're going to create from here on out, because if you don't have a sellable offer, it won't matter. You can learn every marketing tactic and technique in the book, and if you can learn every, sales training you want to do, it will not matter if your offer is not sellable. And here's the other thing. You could create a sellable offer, but if it's not in alignment with your soulmate client work, you're just going to be as unhappy as you were before. So you have to understand the skill of it to be able to create it. Now, the beauty here is that we're going to create it today. We're not going to, this is not just theoretical. You're going to actually create your first draft. You're going to submit it to me in our private clients only Facebook group. And I'm going to give you feedback in here. I'm going to tell you what's working, what's not working. And I'm going to help you make it better so you can keep moving forward. Now, real quick, before I go back to the content and the modules, what you need to know here is that this is a very high-touch, intimate program, and you are going to get a ton of personalized feedback and support inside this Facebook group. And I would actually recommend that if you ever have any questions in the modules, you make sure you come post them in the Facebook group. If you have any questions about, you're going to post all of your assignments in the Facebook group for personalized feedback. You're gonna post your work in the Facebook group, the actions that you're taking, real implementation in the Facebook group for feedback and support. And then if you still have follow-up questions, you still need follow-up coaching, we have very small group Q&A calls that you're going to come to get any additional follow-up questions that you have. But most people get so much support in the Facebook group that they barely even need those small group live Q&A calls. But they are available because every once in a while there are going to be things you need to get some follow-up support on. But it's high touch, extremely personalized support and feedback unique to you. But the other benefit of having it in this group like this is that you can see other people being coached. You can see what they're learning, and maybe something you're getting personalized feedback, but maybe it's not quite clicking. But then when you research and look at what other people are doing and you see my coaching to them, you're like, oh, it starts to click for you. You can start to see it a little bit differently through somebody else's lens. So everybody benefits when we have this structure. Now, if you are somebody who's a little more private, who's a little bit more reserved, maybe you don't like sharing your stuff in a public way, just let me know. Now, I do recommend that you come and use this as much as possible, because not only are you going to get so much personalized attention, and you're going to learn from everybody else, and they're going to learn from you, and it can be this really incredible, very tight-knit community. I tend to keep these groups very small because I want to make sure I can keep a really high level of high touch. But if there's ever a point where you just have something that's keeping you stuck, and you're getting stuck and you don't want to share it with the group, I don't want anything to stop you. So you can reach out to me privately, and I will I will support you, and I will coach you to support you with whatever is keeping you stuck. Now, I just ask that you use that sparingly. If you need more than kind of what I'm able to provide in this format, then we can talk about that. But most people, unless you're really, really shy about sharing stuff, and again, like, no judgment if you are, but most people come to the group, get tons and tons of private, or not private, but just one-on-one feedback that's like the best of, like, basically a private program without the investment of a private program, and also the best of a group program where you get to learn from everybody else. So yeah, so back to the modules. So you're going to create this offer that's going to be not only sellable, but also really amazing to be in alignment with your zone of genius in your work. And that's going to be the foundation for everything we do after that, which is, it's just so important. So then what happens after you create your high ticket offer and you get that clarity and you're super excited and like, yes, let's go out there, let's start talking to people, let's start selling people. So just so you know, like just from these 2 modules alone, I've had people close like $5,000 in sales just from their warm network of friends and family. Like that's how powerful these first 2 modules are. But for most people, that's great, and there's some low-hanging fruit and some really great quick wins, but we also want to make sure that you can create repeatable, sustainable success. Remember, we're not just looking for those first clients, we're also looking for consistent clients. And so the next step you're going to do is we're going to go in depth into what your clients saying. What are your clients saying? So we're going to use what you've created in your offer and merge it and create your core messaging and your competitive advantage from what you've discovered in your high ticket offer. And what's really great about this is that honestly, people get really stuck on like, where are they? But when you know what to say, when you know what kinds of questions to ask, when you know who they are, you can be anywhere and get clients. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that. It's not really sustainable and it's not really practical, but it is so much more important. Like you can go to the wrong place and say the right thing and get clients, but if you go to the right place and say the wrong thing, it's going to be nearly impossible to get clients. So it's really important to understand exactly what your soulmate clients are saying. So we're going to go through the foundations there. You're going to submit that to me for feedback. I'm going to review it, make sure it's good to go. And we're going to keep moving forward to your marketing plan. Now, in your marketing plan, this is going to be custom to you, very specific to you. And in this module, we're going to talk about what are the day-to-day activities you're going to do to move the needle to get you to that income goal, to being in a business model that allows you to shine and to thrive, to being able to, attract the right number of soulmate clients to you at any given time. Doing the kind of marketing that is best for you. So again, if you've ever felt like bombarded with like, I could do this, or I could do that, or I could do this, I could do that, that is a problem. And so it's great to have lots of ideas, but in this, I'll tell you what, like ideas are wonderful, but really I've designed this program in a way where I'm not only helping you execute ideas, but this is a framework to help you evaluate your ideas. And it is just as important to evaluate them as it is to execute them. So this is a step-by-step process to make sure that you are evaluating your brilliant ideas in a way that is really going to help you move the needle. And then once I've helped you evaluate those ideas, synthesize it in the context of your vision and also in the context of best practices and what works, then we're going to create a marketing plan. Again, this is the day-to-day, step-by-step of what you're going to be actually doing to attract and convert soulmate clients. Now, once you know exactly what to do and where to go, and some ideas around what to say, kind of the big picture of what to say, now I'm going to teach you exactly how to translate. That's the word I was looking for earlier. How to translate this big picture messaging and competitive advantage into actual conversations, into conversations to book sales calls, and into content that converts. So it's like we have to translate your offer into a competitive advantage and message, and then we have to translate your message and competitive advantage into actual content, into actual questions and conversations. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that, and you can come and share it in the Facebook group and get feedback on that as well. And then finally, I'm going to teach you how to host heartfelt, authentic, simple sales conversations that convert. And this is there's no pushy, no manipulation. Really what this is teaching you how to coach somebody to make the best decision for them in the context of your offer, in the context of, what you do and where they're at. So I'm going to teach you how to and so we're also going to use this and this you know, what they're saying and your message and your competitive advantage and your offer. And we're going to teach you how to craft that into a one-on-one sales structure, not like a script you're going to read, but a very specific structure that you're going to walk them through so that they can make the best decision for themselves. And this is also going to have the benefit of you doing, number one, when you know how to do this, you're going to close people way faster. Number two, you're going to get amazing market research so that you know when you're talking to people, it's going to make you be able to create better content. It's going to make you better able to book sales conversations via one-on-one conversations and hire quality people. So it's like this loop that happens where as you're doing these one-on-one consultations, you start figuring out who you really want on them. And so you start creating better content that gets better people on them. And then you're closing more people, and then you're creating better content and you're closing, and it just becomes this really amazing loop that happens. And so most people can get through this whole process in about 60 days. So, you know, most people can get, it is a pretty fast pace to get through all of it. But I've seen it done, and it can be done. So you just kind of have to know yourself, like what kind of pace do you like to go? But these are the core skills of generating and attracting and converting clients into an offer that is soulmate client work, and being able to get repeatable and predictable results, and being able to get consistent clients so that you can ultimately reach that income goal that you have. These are all the key skills. Yeah, these are all the key skills. And then I also have that we have just some resources to make sure, you know, if there's we just don't want anything to stop you. So there's just like technical resources and things. There's not a lot of technology. It's not, I keep it very, very simple. It's not overly complex. We have some common roadblocks that I see over and over again to help you if you get stuck. But basically by the time that you are done with, so you should definitely be done with your marketing plan so that you know exactly what you're going to be doing every single day. I would say it could be as quickly as 3 weeks. It could take you as long as maybe like, I don't know, 6 weeks is kind of on the long side. I would really recommend that you have a plan by 6 weeks. And then once you know your plan, now you dive into learning these 3 key skills, okay? Content that converts, one-on-one conversations to book sales calls, and your one-on-one sales calls to close. And so once you're in action and you're taking action and you're working your marketing plan, you're learning these skills and you're executing them and you're using them. And just like you would learn how to play piano or learn soccer, you know, the best way to learn is to you know, take a training and then to practice and then to get one-on-one feedback. And that's exactly how I've designed this program, exactly how the structure is set up, is that you have the training, you are out there taking action, and you come and get one-on-one feedback to make sure that you're executing it and synthesizing it correctly in the context of your vision, your goals, you know, your soulmate clients. And so that you're just continuing to build those skills over time. They're getting stronger and stronger. And like I said, I think I said this earlier, but if you are somebody who, this is especially important for you, if you are somebody who needs a high level of confidence to get results and to take consistent action. And that's totally okay. Like, I'm kind of somebody who it's easier for me to take consistent action if I feel really confident in what I'm doing, if I know that I'm doing it correctly, if I know that, you know, it's going to be effective. It's so much easier for me to just take consistent action. And so if that's you, it's really important that you're getting feedback and that you're just getting better and better at these skills. Now, beyond just getting better and better at these skills, some of the things we're going to do beyond the first 60 days is we're going to make sure that we recalibrate your vision every so often. We're going to make sure we zoom out and we take a look at, you know, what have you learned and how do we want to transform this to make sure that you are truly building a soulmate business. And the other major thing that we're going to be doing along the way is we're also going to be looking at your energy. And your energy comes from two places. It comes from the role that you're in your business. So the role in your offer, the role in your marketing, the role in your sales. And there's a lot of different roles. There are a lot of different kinds of roles. So you want to make sure you're in roles that are in alignment with your energy, that are in alignment with your zone of genius. Because just like, we talk about your offer, the more your offer is in alignment with your zone of genius, the more energy that you have, the more fulfilled you're going to be. The same is true of all of the roles in your business. And the other major source of energy, or lack of energy, is your reaction to what happens to you. And that's your mindset. That's your emotional toolkit. So for example, if every single time a client complains, that distracts you and that drains your energy because you are emotionally triggered, the longer it drains your energy, the slower it's going to be to get back up and to put yourself out there again. But if you keep learning the skills where that drains your energy less and less and less over time, you now have so much more energy to create what you want to create, to create what you need to create. And this is no small thing. Like you may be thinking, well, a couple days here and there where I'm triggered, like that's not gonna be that big a deal, but it adds up so fast. Like that time that it takes you, if you're not actively reclaiming your energy all the time, it is going to, the amount your emotions are going to drain your energy and slow you down adds up so fast. So if that's not clear to you right now, I really want you to tune into, how long does it take me to recover every single time I get triggered? How often am I triggered? If I really put myself out there, how often am I going to be triggered? And if you can kind of see like, wow, like that's going to take a huge toll. And what happens for a lot of people is that they can willpower for a while and then they burn out. And they have to like give up for 6 months or a year or 3 years or whatever if they're not actively building that muscle of emotional energy and learning how to navigate their emotions to generate more energy, not let it be draining them all the time. So another thing that we do in this program is we set a mindset goal every 30 to 60 days where you ask yourself, what belief do I need to create what I want to create? And we actively are continuing to move towards that and work towards that. So that you're not, because the other major thing that happens with people is they kind of get lost and drown in triggers. Because when you're putting yourself out there, when you're trying to create something new, it can be easy to kind of get wrapped up in triggers. Or people get lost in resistance too. Like they stop going because they have too much resistance. But if you really set a proactive mindset goal, something as simple as like, I want to experience more abundance. Like that's something we can actively work towards, and that's going to give you so much more energy than kind of bouncing around between triggers and slowing down because you have a bunch of resistance or needing to give up for a while because you've burnt out. So my favorite analogy with this is like lifting weights, okay? So if you go in and you're trying to lift 300-pound weights and you've been sitting on the couch for, the last 3 years, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna have to give up. You're gonna break your back, and you're gonna have to recover from that. But if you go in and you're consistently lifting 5-pound weights, and then you're stretching yourself to 10-pound weights, and then you're stretching to 20, you're gonna get to 300 pounds way faster than if you keep trying to go do 300 pounds and burning out. And the same thing is true with your emotions. And so it's a muscle that you have to consciously be building along the way so that you can use, energy is one of your number one resources, if not the number one resource. And you have to create something new in your life, especially something this powerful, especially something this meaningful, especially something this important. And if you don't want it to take decades, if you don't want it to take, multiple decades, you have to learn how to manage your energy. And a big part of that is learning how to manage your emotional energy. And what I know from doing over a decade of getting over a decade of high quality, ongoing, consistent mindset support, and I'm talking coaching, private coaching, group coaching, training, all that, that is the only way that I personally know how to create lasting and lasting transformation that happens more quickly. So that's how the process works. That's the program tour. Like I said, there's so much support in the Facebook group. but if you ever need something offline, just try and use it sparingly. The other main question I get in here is do you have a private coaching option? And I do not currently have a primary private coaching option. Because you get so much one-on-one support and feedback in this high touch group model. However, if you ever feel, and also I found that sometimes people use private coaching to avoid becoming autonomous. They use it to kind of abdicate responsibility instead of learning how to build the skills of becoming, build the skills that they need to become a successful business owner. What I do offer is I do have a la carte private coaching options for very specific purposes and very specific needs. So that is something that's available. So for example, if you want, an in-depth review of a talk that you're giving, like a, in-depth review of a talk that you're giving because you're going to a major conference and there's a lot of clients there and you can get a great, it's going to make a really significant impact in your business to make sure that you're doing this talk really, really well. That's an option. If you're like, I just need a little more time with some in-depth mindset support, that's an option. We can do some a la carte with that. So I have a lot of options for that, but they are very geared towards helping you build skill autonomy to create results, and just get additional feedback, and additional sort of, historical experience, expertise, and knowledge. And then like really specific opportunities that you want to capitalize on, you want to make the most of, and you want in-depth support, making sure that you're really maximizing the opportunity. All right, so that is the full program tour. And like I said, you also get regular small group Q&A calls to laser focus in on any follow-up questions that you have, any questions you have about the content, any questions that you have about what you're working on. And that's how the process works. Let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to connecting with you.